Hello and welcome. So Adobe tools have so many problems, right? They're bloated, they're overpriced, they crash, the predatory nature of their business. I could go on and on. However, why bother? Because we've got good news, right? There are lovely people over at a company called Techsmith who have given us amazing replacements for some of the core Adobe tools. And they don't have those awful subscriptions, right? So you can buy it and use it, and then you can choose to, get a subscription if you want to upgrade every year, but you don't have to. You can keep using the tool even if you don't update. So let's talk some tech about Snagit, Camtasia, and Audiate, all from Techsmith. Let's get going. So even if you're not a, content creator, influencer, whatever term you want to use, right? There's still a strong possibility that you need to create visual content. And instead of talking about the thing that seems to be everybody's knee-jerk reaction when somebody asks this kind of question, we're going to be talking about a company that I love, and I use these tools all of the time instead of Adobe. I abandoned Adobe years ago for many reasons, which if you want to know, I'm happy to share, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that there are really good tools out there that don't come with all of the Adobe baggage. And so we're going to be exploring a few of those today. And the company that creates all these tools we're going to be talking about is called Techsmith. They're a US-based company, and they've got all kinds of amazing tools. They're really responsive to their audience. So that is what we are going to talk about. But first, let's, we'll do our due diligence here, right? And we're going to talk about, there we go. We're going to talk about Techsmith first, right? So who are they? What are they doing? So their focus is on creating and editing videos and images so that you can share information, so that, you can record things, whatever it is that you need to do. There's a lot of different use cases for this, and we'll touch on a bunch of these as we keep talking. But I just wanted to kind of give you a quick rundown on who they are, what their focus is. So they've got a bunch of different tools available, but when they say that they are customer first approach, I can tell you that firsthand, that is exactly what they do. They are incredibly responsive to their audience. They are very engaged with their customer base. They're constantly asking for suggestions and recommendations. If you do have a problem, which in all the years I've been using them, not even counting on one hand, but they're very responsive. They give you very good information. They also have a ton of information out on their website and on their YouTube channel to help you get more out of the tools. So I highly recommend, if you're curious, you can go through and check them out. A lot of big companies use them. I very often, when I go and I work for a company, I end up bringing them in and replacing the Adobe tools, which makes me sort of a rock star because they're saving a lot of money and they're getting better value, and they're still getting all the content that they need. So the website, of course, all the links and everything are in the description as always. But you can go and you can check out what they've got. They've got packages. You can get individual products, all that kind of good stuff. But they also adjust things, right? So they've got individual pricing. They've got pricing for corporations and organizations, and they also cater to the educational market. So depending on who you are and where you are, that is helpful to know, right? That is helpful information, and they do adjust their pricing accordingly. It is very successful in the corporation level if that's where you're at, but it's also very handy for those of us who are, doing it all ourselves, or if you've got a small team or a small organization. It's great for that, and it is, as many of the tools that I recommend, because I feel strongly in this. These are tools that you can start off with at a basic level. Right? It offers a lot of functionality, but that doesn't mean you have to use it all. So you start off with what you need, but then as your needs grow, you don't have to switch tools because you can just keep growing inside of this tool set, which I personally think is just a much more efficient way of doing things, right? You get in there, you learn it, you start using it, and then you go ahead and you get all the benefit of it. And then as you find other things you want to do, or you go, wonder if, you go in there and you find out you can. Yes. The dry air of winter. Sorry about that. Alrighty, so let's keep going. So we're going to start by talking about the. Okay, so sorry. I did want to mention too that Techsmith is not like a new company, right? So they've been around for over 30 years. So they have a strong record. So you can go and check it out. And you can really create stunning visuals without breaking the bank or like stressing your brain out. So you can go ahead and check out all that information. Like I said, all the links are in the description. If you're watching this when I'm recording this, which just so happens to be Black Friday, they are running a 25% off deal for I think the next week. I think it goes into next week. Let me check that. Yes, it goes to December 6th, 2024. So 25% off everything on their website. So another great option. On top of that, obviously, like most companies do, you can also download it and try it for free. So all the options are there for you. All right, so let's go ahead and start talking about the awesome tools. Let's see, we're going to go with Snagit first. So Snagit was my introduction to this company, and they got a very loyal person out of that because Snagit was and is fantastic. So Snagit is at its core a screen capture program. However, it does not stop there at all. By the way, all these tools work on Mac and Windows, so agnostic, we're all good. Sorry, I don't think they do Linux. I'm sorry, folks. But if you ask them, maybe they'll look into it. Okay, somebody's got an opinion out there. So yeah, Snagit at its core is a screen capture tool. And you're like, oh, well, I've got, one for free built in. Yeah, you do, but it's not as powerful as this tool. This is definitely screenshots on steroids because you can actually do all kinds of things. You can take the whole window, you can take part of the window, and it's got, well, I can actually talk about it while you're looking at it. So, I keep hitting the wrong button. So not only can you do screen captures, but it also comes with a free editor, which is just a part of the tool. So once you take your screen capture, then you can go in and you can put on, little arrows, and you can add text, and you can put emojis. You can do whatever you need to in order to communicate whatever it is that you want to do. Now, what's an example of how you might use this? You might use it for internal communication, right? You want to show somebody, an idea that you've got or a website that you kind of want to emulate. Maybe you're having a problem, right? I use this a lot with tech support because I can show them exactly what it is I'm doing. You can go in and you can select part of the screen. You can add additional information to the screen capture to give some context about what you're sharing. You can also export it to whatever format you want. So there is an internal share option inside of they've got a tool that you can use to share, but you can also export it and share it in a bunch of different places. Whatever file format you need, you can go ahead and do it. You can give them a link, you can send them the actual file, all that kind of good stuff. In addition to all of this, you can also do things like not just image capture, but you can video record. So sometimes it's easier to explain what your issue is or your question is or your suggestion is by showing it in context. So you can actually record your screen, walk through everything, again, I do this a lot for tech support in my day gig. Hey, developer, this is not working the way it's supposed to. I went in and I did step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 went wrong, and then I couldn't do the rest of the steps. But having that context often helps explain that to the person. You can choose to do that with a video of yourself as well. So you can overlay yourself on a camera, or you can do it just with the screen. You can also do audio recording. So that could be your system. So you might want to record, like maybe you're getting a weird sound when you're going to the website or whatever. Or, you can also do the screen with your voice. So you can say, hey, I did this, this, and this is what I saw, and I was expecting this. Again, whatever solution works best for whatever it is that you're doing, this tool can handle it for you. The other thing that I absolutely love are the presets. So you can set yourself up. So if you want to use, certain colors, for your branding, you can specialize that. You can create keyboard shortcuts. You can change the order of the menus, all this kind of stuff. It is amazingly flexible. But like I said, you can just use it out of the box, super simple, but then you can go ahead and do whatever else you want. This is another thing that for me, this is why I bring this into a lot of my software development jobs, the scrolling capture. So you can go in, and most tools you can only get what's on the screen in the moment. But with this tool, there's a couple of different ways that you can actually capture the whole screen, top to bottom and left to right. Massive time saver. I used to have to use like the Windows built-in tool, and I'd have to take the picture, and then I'd have to like take all the different screen captures, and then I'd have to stitch them all together to make it look like one so that everybody understood what I was talking about. So much easier to do it this way. Another feature, which let me see if they talk about it on the website before I go there. I love the scrolling capture. I'm not sure if it does, but if it does, that's okay. We can talk about it twice. Another thing that is really helpful is that you can take a screen capture, and then if there's text on the screen, so like if there's, if it's a blog post or there's instructions on the screen, you can actually highlight those and turn those into text so that you can send it to somebody and say, hey, typo here or whatever. But it's just, again, it's one of those things that you may not need, which is fine. You can keep using this tool without ever touching it. But in certain situations, it is such a time saver. Love it. It has saved me a ton of time, as you might be able to tell. This is another thing that's really handy. If you're talking about like maybe the layout of your website or a brochure that you're working on or an application you're building, you can actually say, I want something that sort of looks like this. Now, we're not talking about stealing anybody's site, right? But you can, pick different screen captures, but then you can, rather than distract people, because they do get distracted, you can simplify the view with the tools that it has, and it will just automatically go through and hide the things that people typically want hidden. This is really important. The usually way that you have to do that is you have to go in and you have to draw a little box over everything. And if you're dealing with a long image, that's really tedious. This tool, you say, go ahead and hide this thing. And there's some settings that you can put on it, and you hit the button and it does it for you. You don't have to go through and draw all these little boxes yourselves. Huge time saver. Oh my goodness. Love it so much. Let's see what else here. So yeah, there's a library of things that you can use. You can also, the screen captures that you take, you can keep them and you can tag them inside of the tool itself so you can go back and find them. You can share them to the usual places like Google Drive, OneDrive, all that kind of stuff. You can save favorites. So if there's certain ones that you're going to go back to a lot, all those are going to be here. So really helpful. This is another really cool thing. Smart move. So you can take an element that's on the screen in your image, and you can highlight it, and then you can move it, and you see how it's like filling in the background. It's not leaving you a gaping hole, and then you can position it where you want to. Again, massive time saver when you're trying to collaborate with other people on this kind of stuff. Here we go. Yeah, the text recognition, it was here. So that, you can adjust it, you can change it, you can change the font, you can change the color, you can change the words, all from in there. So yes, when they say fans, this company has fans. They're not kidding you. This is definitely a company that has rabid fans. Hello, I'm one of them. And I should probably say, because as I'm gushing here about this is not a sponsored post. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not. This is me sharing a tool that I rely on all of the time. Snagit, I definitely use 5 out of 7 days of the week. Some of the other ones, it's a couple times a month, but this is my go-to for a lot of what I do, in particular because it's so versatile. So one of the things that they don't really get into too much with this is the fact that you can actually use this to create short training videos. And again, you can choose to have your picture on screen if you'd like, or you could, like through a webcam or whatever, or not. You can just record the screen and you can choose to talk, to explain what you're doing or not, whatever you prefer. But you can actually not just create images with this static images, but you, like I mentioned, you create videos of the screen, but you can actually use those to create training materials or how-to materials. Whatever it is that your particular use case is calling for, this tool can do it on its own. So for this one tool, you get all of that functionality, which is amazing. Now, it's not a full video editor. We'll get to that in a minute. But sometimes you just need that something quick and dirty, right? So you can do that. It also is a GIF or GIF, generator. So if you want to take something, and create like a little animated thing, you can do that in this tool. You create all the different frames, and then you can choose to output it as the animated GIF. You can do memes with it. right? Because you can, either take the screen capture, but sometimes you're just going to go right into the editor that's included with it and do whatever you need to do, because you can bring in images from other places. You can just create things whole cloth right from there. So super, super powerful, super, super useful. And I defy you to find anything out there that does half of this for such a reasonable price. So they've got obviously different pricing on it, but literally, for $30. And again, you can say, it says build yearly. If you go for the yearly, that means that, you're getting updates every single year for it. And then you pay, $30 every year. However, you can buy this tool and use it for as long as you want and not update it, right? So the way to do that is you go in, you buy your license, right? And then you just go in and turn off the subscription. You can keep using this for years. I have done that. Like reality hits, right? The world is what it is. And there are periods where you may not be able to update it, or you just don't want to. You don't have to. And unlike certain other companies that I won't mention again, okay, where if you're not paying them every month, you can't use their tools. Not here. You could continue to use the tool for as long as you want. You're just not going to get the new feature updates and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes you don't need them, and so that's totally fine, and it gives you that flexibility, and that's what we're all about here, right? The right tool for the right job, and flexible for what it is that you need and don't need. So hopefully that's made that clear. Alrighty, let me just make sure here. I did all of that without checking my bullet notes because I love this tool. So yeah, so once you do your capture, you can add arrows, text, shapes, all that kind of good stuff. So we talked about the scrolling screens, and again, that is vertical or horizontal or both. Awesome. Extracting text, creating GIFs. Okay, so I did see off the top of my head because I love it so. So yeah, so you don't have to jump into different apps. It's just all in one place. So this is a really strong alternative to things like Photoshop. Like you can do some photo editing in here as well. But like a lot of people end up buying Photoshop to do really basic edits, and like you don't need to, and you certainly don't need to pay those prices. So for everyday image editing, screen capture, simple video kind of stuff, this is the tool to take a look at. And again, you can try it for free, but this is so much simpler. It doesn't overwhelm you. It's not mega expensive, and it doesn't overwhelm you with features that you're just never going to use, right? Certain companies add stuff just because they can add stuff, which is not the way to go. Alrighty, next up, we are going to talk about Camtasia. So Camtasia is the video editing tool. It's also a recording tool. So this does screen recordings, video recordings, audio recordings. People use it for, podcasts. I've used it for content here. I've used it for training videos. It does all the things. I also use it to edit other people's videos. Super, super flexible. And it is perfect for all those kinds of things. Marketing content, how-to or, instructional videos and tutorials and that type of thing. It's packed with a bunch of different features, but we're going to just, hit on a few to kind of get you started. Bring this up. Because, again, it is a tool that will grow with you as your needs grow. It does a lot of things, but you don't have to start off with everything. Also, it comes with different ways to get started. So if you already have a video, you could just bring that video in and start working in it. Or if you're going to record from scratch, you can use this new thing that they've added called Rev. And it gives you it asks you a couple of questions, and it sets up the project for you and gets you rolling, and you can start recording right away. And again, you have the choices of how you're going to record it. You don't have to do voice, you don't have to do camera, but you can do all of those things. You can also have it track your mouse clicks, which is really handy later, because then when you're in the editing mode, if you've done the recording in Camtasia, it is aware of, it has recorded all of the clicks that you've done, and so you can highlight those. You can add like little ripples around it. You can make the cursor bigger when you go to click. So very, very handy, and makes you look like you're this high-end editor when you're just using their default options. It's so obvious. It's so awesomely easy. Blech. English. Sorry, I can do English. I really can. You can do transitions. You can do animations. You can obviously, cut and, edit things. So, the editing part of it is quite intuitive. You can bring in multiple types of media to work with. It also comes with a whole library of things that you can make use of. So that is like backgrounds and like default, videos and images. It's got like emojis and that kind of stuff in it. So you can do all this kind of stuff. You can have as many, different pieces. You can do transitions between things. And you can, watch it as it goes. You can also do captioning on it. And there's a lot of different formats that it just gives you. And you can go in and you can tweak these things, right? But out of the box, you can go ahead and just pick the one that's closest to what you want. And then you can adjust the font size or the color or whatever. But it will do all of this, again, inside of this tool. In addition, it does work with Snagit and Audiate, which we'll talk in a minute. So you can use this, again, as a standalone tool, or you can go ahead and you can use this as something that works with the other pieces if you have the need for that kind of thing. Let's see what else is on this page. They do a really nice job of explaining their stuff. Right, so screen captures, you can work with a camera, it can work with the mic and system audio, and then Rev is that new default one, which is really a lot of fun. At first, I wasn't too sure I was going to use it, but I do find that I use it a lot for the corporate trainings that I do, because it really gives you great options for that. And it just, with a couple of clicks, it comes off looking really, really impressive and professional. And really all I did was just click a couple of buttons. So let's see. Yeah, so Rev's got very cool stuff in it. It will integrate with audio, which we'll talk about in a minute. There's all kinds of built-in pieces to it. So lots of cool stuff that can make your videos fun, make them easy to edit, makes it, real easy to do professional things. And it's also easy to take different pieces from different places and put them together into a format that you want. Again, you can also do, export once the project's ready to whatever format you want. And it's got this other functionality, which gets a little bit more complicated, but you can do interactive quizzes with it. You can actually export it so that you've got all the files you need, so that you can embed it in something else with the controller. So, the play and stop and all that kind of stuff. So again, lots of flexibility, lots of functionality, all built into this one tool. And again, it can be standalone, or you can work with the other tools, whatever it is that works best for you. All right, so again, let me just make sure I hit all my points here. Oh, right, templates. So it also offers a bunch of different templates. So you don't have to start from scratch. If you've never set up something like this, they've got you covered. You can go ahead and pick some of the templates and go ahead and use those, and you'll be good to go. It also has built into it tools to clean up your audio, right? So it can help you remove background noise. It can increase or decrease the volume depending on the situation that you need. A lot of really good tools. So this is why this is hands down what I use instead of Adobe Premiere Pro anymore. I haven't used that tool in years. It's a smoother, cleaner interface. The learning curve is much lower, but it has all of the firepower that you need to do the projects that you need to work on. So nothing needs to hold you back here. I'm sorry, for those of you who are new here, I forgot. I get excited about this stuff. So my name is Kathleen. I'm here as your tech coach. Short version of the story is technology is my day gig. It's also my hobby. And so friends, family, neighbors, coworkers tend to come to me when they have questions, when they want recommendations, when they need help troubleshooting. I know not everybody has somebody to do that. So hello, that's why I'm here every week, every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'm here with fresh content, but also you can go ahead and wherever you're watching, I have a library of other stuff there. You can also reach out to me here at yourtechcoach.com. If you have a question, you can feel free to use the forms. Let me know. I just, if you want a response, make sure you give me your email address. If it's something that's a quick answer, I'm happy to do it that way. Also, you can sign up for one-on-one consults. I do training for individuals and companies, the whole thing. So you can go to the website and find out all about that. But hello, we're happy to have you here. Alrighty. So next, let's talk about Audiate. Now, Audiate is whoops, I jumped ahead there. Whoops, there we go. Okay. So next we're going to talk about Audiate. Now, Audiate is an audio editor, but again, it does so much more. So it's a full audio editing software. And it also does recordings. So a lot of people I know are using this for podcasts and that kind of thing, but you can also, just edit audio. You can edit audio from tools like Camtasia. It works in sync with Camtasia. So if you need more audio control than you're getting from the native stuff inside of Camtasia, then you might want to look at this one. You can use it to transcribe and edit your recordings. It'll also do text to voice for you. So it's got a lot of stuff. So let's go ahead and look at Audiate. So again, the interface is just what you need and no more, right? So when it takes in the audio, it transcribes it. So you're going to be editing it in a text-based editor. So you're not having to listen and find and fast forward. You can just read through and find exactly what it is that you want. You can use this tool to go in and remove the ums and the ahs, the dead air kind of things. You can go in and, cut something, if somebody said something that, doesn't really apply to whatever the topic is, you can cut that out. If there's any kind of background noise, that type of thing, there's all kinds of tools in there, again, to go in and remove background noise, improve the clarity. Makes it all super easy and completely intuitive to work with. So you can also use it for the transcript. So you can export a transcript from it. So you can actually, use that as part of your notes or whatever. Take that to use in something else. I mentioned that you can integrate it. We did all that kind of stuff. So it is a really super powerful tool. It also can be used to help you come up with your scripts. So there's AI tools in it. I know there's AI tools in everything now, but this one's got it too. So you can go ahead and, use those tools to help you create your script. You can put text in there. So here it is, this script generation, right? So you can, tell it the topic that you want information on, and it will go ahead and it will help you. And, you can get very specific with it about, how length and the tone and the audience that you're talking to and all that kind of stuff. But you don't have to be jumping from, one place to another to do this kind of stuff. You're able to do this all inside of this one tool. You can also use it to, you put text in, and then you can have it create the audio for you. So if you've written a script, and you want that, you don't want to do your voice, or you don't have somebody on your team to do the voiceover, you can go ahead and you can use this, pick different voices, pick, the pitch, the tone of it, the speed of it, and it will go ahead and generate it. And, you can test drive it until you like what you're hearing back, and make it sound real, not like a weird little robot thing. You can go in and you can do all kinds of editing on it, not just, you can obviously, cut things, you can rearrange things, but you can also perfect the level of audio that you're getting from it. It's amazing. It will do translations into different languages for you. It's just so amazing. There's just so much that you can do with this tool. Now, this one is a little pricey. I won't mislead you on it, but it is really powerful. And if it is something that you need, it can definitely save you a ton of time from having to go and do some of it here and do some of it in this tool. And because that's really what happens in a lot of the tools today is you've got a tool that does one or two things, but then if you want to do something else, you've got to take that and put it into something else. So the beauty of all of this is the fact that it's all in one tool. Now, Audiate is going to replace Adobe Audition if you're using that. And it is way more visual. It is way more intuitive. So I highly recommend that you go and you check it out, right? So these are the 3 core tools that I recommend for people using who are looking for alternatives. And you can create stunning visual content and audio without the Adobe or other, price tag, complexity, problems. So whether you're doing social media, you're a teacher, you're a marketer, these are the kinds of tools that will make your life so much easier. Yes, and by the way, you can do traditional landscape, or you can do portrait video. Or, in these tools, obviously for the Snagit, you can create images in that way too. So if you're targeting things like Instagram or TikTok or whatever, you can do it in that format as well. You can also take your content, right, and do it in one format for one and then do it for the other. What I recommend doing is start in landscape and then go to portrait. Give it a try. Your mileage may vary. But, like I said, all the links are in the description. If you are watching this in the week of Black Friday 2024, the sale goes to, I've got to double check that again. The sale goes until 10:06. Did I say 09 before? I apologize. So December 6th is when the 25% off will expire. But if you're watching this in the future, they do run other deals during the year, so you can check that. But also, their prices are way more reasonable than the other things you're going to see out there. So regardless, I think it is definitely worth giving it a try. You can get a free trial with all this kind of stuff. You can also, buy individual pieces, or you can buy them in a package, which will then also save you a little bit of money. So you can go and check all of that kind of stuff out. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer that. If you want me to do a deeper dive on any one of these, I've done some, but I haven't done them in a while. So if you want me to do updated ones on it, please let me know in the comments, or you can reach out to me here. Happy to do that. If you're curious about what is coming down the pike, and you're not already on it, you can jump on my mailing list. I'll always let everybody know ahead of time who's on the mailing list, what the topic's going to be for that week, and any other things that are going on, because there are things coming, probably January or February. So just a suggestion, go and try that out. All right. For you folks who power through to the end, you know how much I appreciate it. You know how much it helps the channel. So as always, I've got a few bonus things for you here. And the first is that in addition to all of this, there is another tool that they have available. Bring that up. Okay, so let me bring this up. And that is called Screencast. So this is a super handy tool if you are working with other people. Now, not all of us are that lucky. Like I mentioned, a lot of us are doing this on our own, and it's just us and the voices in our head. But this is a really great tool so that you can go ahead and you can post whatever it is you're working on, and people can send you feedback, and you've got it all in a centralized location. So a lot of us right now, what we're doing, if we do have to get feedback, from a client or team members or whatever, upper management, you sending it to them, and then they're emailing you stuff, and it's coming in drips and drabs. This puts everything in one place. You send everybody the link, and then they can go ahead and put the stuff in, in their questions, their recommendations. I like this, I don't like this, and it's all in one spot. It's such a nice tool to have at your fingertips. Of course, it's got, AI tools in it, so that you can get descriptions and captions and all that what you're putting on, but you can share it, with, people on your team or external people. It's great for any kind of collaboration you need to do. And you don't have to keep checking your email or Slack or Teams or whatever, because it will notify you when somebody has posted something that you need to go and look at. It does connect in with the other tools, so you can use it, right from there. And it's just, if collaboration is a big part of what you're doing, then this is definitely something to go and check out. And of course, there is, extra AI tools that are in there to help you get stuff going today. So that is the first piece of bonus content I have for you. Next is, the assets. Right. Okay. So in addition, each one of these tools comes with, assets, tools inside of it that you can use. And I talked a little bit about, how Camtasia has got, like stock footage, still and video. It's got sounds. So like if you want to hear the little click when you click, or when you put something on the screen that you want to get extra attention on, you can do a little surprise noise, music. There's all kinds of stuff that's built into it. However, if you find that you need a little bit more, they also offer assets. So there's assets for Snagit and there's assets for Camtasia. I have not seen anything yet for Audiate, but I will keep my eye out. So for Snagit, it's a lot of additional, images and templates. So different symbols and things that you're going to maybe want to use. They call them stamps inside the tool. but there's also templates. So if you want to do, and then you can, there are some assets that you can use that are free, but most of the really good ones, you're going to want to buy the subscription. So you can get frames, you can get comparisons, you can get like, certificates and that kind of things. So they've got a lot of cool stuff there. They've got some themes that are built out that you can go ahead and use. They have additional photos. They've got, a special AI generator. So let's go in here. I'm not logged in, I don't think, here. But you can see that you can filter it by, if you only want to see what's free, you can do that, or you can do this, to see the free and the paid. You can turn off the starter ones if you don't want to see the free ones. But these are just like examples of the photos, and you have license to use these because you have the license for the tool. So you can go in and you can, search for, whatever you're looking for. So let's say we'll do like holiday. Right, and so it's got like vacation stuff and, 4th of July and, Canada, all kinds of different stuff. So you can go in and take a look at all those. You can say, okay, I want to see things that, have a, a lot of blue in them or brown or whatever. So there's a lot of filtering options over here. And you can access these directly from the tool. So you don't have to necessarily, go to different, you don't necessarily have to go here to get them and download them and add them to the tool. You can just access this from inside the tool. So right now we're looking at the Snagit ones. Let's see what else we've got. We can look at the templates. It's not necessarily going to be that here. So we'll go over here. So let's see, like you can do comparisons kind of stuff. There's all kinds of different frames you can use. So let's say you want to like put your product or your website onto a computer screen. Well, yes, you could build this out yourself, or you could just come in here, use this, pop your image in here, and be a rock star. You're already done. You can do it, for phones, all the different things. What else we got? Multi-purpose. So there's a bunch of different ones, and you can go in and you can just look at these before you buy to see if anything catches your eye. Step by step, I use these a lot. Timeline kind of things. So there's a lot of flexibility inside of this. We can look at the themes. So again, if you don't like the default colors, you can go in, you can build them out yourself, or you can come in here and maybe you can find one that's, closer to what it is that you need. And we did the photos and then the AI generator. So this will actually generate images for you. The Camtasia one has, similar categories, but obviously it's going to be more focused on things like, things for video. So, it gives you titles. Well, I didn't even mention the title. Yeah, the titles, like, those are great because you can do titles and lower thirds and all that kind of stuff. So we'll just go and take a look here. So you can see, like, yes, could you build that out yourself in the tool? Yes. But do you want to? Well, that depends on you. So there's a lot of different ones, and then you just change the text, but you can also change the font and the color and the position and all that kind of stuff. Lots of different things here. Even if you're just using it for like idea generation, like they're handy for that. But I have I'll be honest, I have wowed customers with, just adding these kind of things in. And all I did was I took one and I just adjusted it to be, their brand, their font, that type of thing. Let's just keep going here. I'm just trying to give you a little flavor of what they've got here. Dynamic backgrounds. So you can put that, behind whatever you're doing. I totally missed an opportunity here. I forgot that I could have come in here and gotten my turkey. So there's seasonal stuff, all that kind of good stuff. What else we got? Motion graphics. So like if you want to add, like I mentioned, something, something eye-catching, something to keep people engaged. Something to simulate what it is that you're talking about in your video. If you want to do the subscribe thing, like this kind of thing. They've got them in here. So lots and lots of flexibility, lots of stuff. And again, I could go through all these call outs. The call outs are fun. So like I said, I talked about like the icons and the cursor. So you can add these kinds of elements in. So much, right? And then there's a different video, right? So there's stock footage kind of video stuff. So depending on what it is, you can go and, look for whatever you want. There's some animations in here. Motion backgrounds again. Bokeh there. So again, these are ways to add some extra punch to your content. without having to go to 16,000 different places. And as if you buy this, like I said, you can use the free ones as just part of buying, the tool, or you can go ahead and you can get the license to get the premium ones, and then you can use them however you like. Also have photos. They've got music, they've got sound effects, and then you can listen to them and see, what it is. All these different ones. So again, and there's the AI generator. So again, lots of stuff, lots of flexibility, lots of extra tools. I can't begin to like fully explain how incredibly useful this has been for me. Like all these tools, I use them all the time, and what a savings it is, and how much better they are to work with for most of us than certain other companies. So I'll stop here. I could keep going, but if you have questions, if you want more information on it, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am 100% willing to do that. And I would love to hear from you if you give this a try. And if you have other things that, you want to share, you go ahead in the comments and let us know, because that's what we're here for, right? We're all here to help each other find the right solution that gets us through our project quickly and efficiently and looking professional. That is always our goal. All right, everybody, I hope you have a good one. I will see you here next Friday. And until then, I hope you have a great week. Bye.